Hello, Jason here. Today I'm going to talk about the top 5 books I recommend for the current crisis that's going on. And if you're stuck at home, you have a lot of time on your hands, and you need something to read, this is what I recommend. So here we go. The first one. This is the pick. And maybe it's an obvious one, but this is the one that, if you want to read about a virus that sweeps through the world and just collapses everything, there's nothing better out there than The Stand by Stephen King. This book is about a virus that gets out and it kills, most of the people on the world, in the planet. It's like 99% of everybody. Which, obviously, the current situation will never get to that point. But, if you wanna just scare yourself as to how bad this actually could get, The Stand is great, and it's not just about the virus. That's the first third of the book, and then it goes on to be about how the survivors continue and rebuild. And it's a good versus evil kind of tale, and how people with different values would organize themselves. So and not regardless of what's going on in the world, this is an amazing book, and everyone should read this book. And it's a chunker. So if you have a bunch of time on your hands, this one will be able to fill that, because it'll take you a while to get through this. The Stand. It's great. Next one, if you are the type of person that wants to check off some classics off your list during these trying times, you just want to, go through some books that you've had on your TBR for a while, Dracula by Bram Stoker is amazing. It's the vampire novel. It started it all, and if you haven't read it, you really should. It's amazing. It's told through journal entries and letters and whatever. It's not told in a narrative sort of way. It's told. The story is told through various letters and things like that, journals and things like that. But it is so good. And it is, obviously it's a classic. So many works have been based on this. And yeah, it's a classic for a reason. And you should read it. So if you got time, it's a good one. And then to go along with that, I'm going to have a secondary recommendation. If you read Dracula and you enjoy Dracula, then I highly, highly, highly recommend Salem's Lot by Stephen King. Basically, this is Stephen King's sort of modernized kind of retelling of the Dracula story. And it came out in 78, so it's not modern by today's standards, but it's modern compared to Dracula, and it's so good too. Again, if you've got time on your hands and you wanna fill time, Salem's Lot is amazing. But basically, it's like I said, it's Stephen King's retelling of the classic Dracula story. So I highly recommend that you go through that and read both of those books. If you want to do them back to back, you should. That's how I did it, and it was awesome. The next recommendation is if you want to just escape and you want to not think about what's going on, you just kind of want some whimsy and some fun fantasy that's easy to read and will just engage you. There's nothing better than The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. my God, I literally just finished reading this. I've read it a number of times in the past 3 or 4 times, and I just reread it because I just wanted something fun to read that I could like read a chapter a day, and it was just it's such a great story. It's so fun and so easy to just get wrapped up in this world. Bilbo's amazing. Everything about this book is amazing. If you have not read The Hobbit, then what are you doing with your life? You need to go read The Hobbit right now. Like I said, read a chapter a day, and in 20 days, you've read The Hobbit. Like, it's not a commitment. Like, you need to do it. And then, if you like The Hobbit, if you enjoy that, then go ahead and continue the series, the saga or whatever, and read The Lord of the Rings, which I'm currently working on. Like I said, I read The Hobbit. I'm gonna go ahead and read The Fellowship and The Two Towers and The Return of the King. And yeah, those are also great. And again, it's like if you got time on your hands, why not go and read a classic? Like, if you have not read those books, then you need to. This is where we're at today. You got plenty of time. Just go ahead and read them because holy crap, they're amazing. And like, there's a reason why they're classics. You know what I mean? So anyway, number 4 pick on this list is a weird one, but basically, if you've got time on your hands and you just need something to occupy your time, which I know a lot of people do, this is a good pick because this is weird and it takes a lot of energy to get really deep into this book. But it's House of Leaves by Mark Daniekewski. This is a crazy book. If you know anything about this book, format-wise, it's very weird. Narrative structure-wise, it's very weird. There's layers and layers and layers and layers to this book, and so if you're looking for something to occupy your time, this is perfect because you will read it and you will get into it, and there are footnotes that you have to follow into appendices. There are things that like there's whole sections where like for example, the main character, his mother writes him letters, right? And within those letters there's a code, and she is telling him a coded message in her letters, and you as the reader, in order to understand what's going on, have to go through and decode those letters. It's crazy. But if you want to get into just a weird, crazy story that's really good, it's a really good like kind of love story, but also like a haunted house story. It's just a really awesome, weird book. But it will take up time. And if that's what you want, if you want a book that will make you have to do some legwork, that will give you tasks in order to like understand everything, this is the only book I can even think of that has that kind of thing. It's House of Leaves. Read it. And then the last recommendation I have for you is a series that I love. That there are 4 books currently, and the author is continuing to put out books. There's another book supposed to come out in September. So if you want to take the time now when you're stuck home to read these books and get caught up, and then you're ready for when they come out, it is the Cormoran Strike series by Robert Galbraith. The first book is called The Cuckoo's Calling, and these are just awesome mysteries. The author, Robert Galbraith, is a pen name. It's J.K. Rowling. She wrote Harry Potter, obviously. But they're just such good, like, private investigator mysteries. The main character, Cormoran Strike, is so awesome. And there's 4 of them. So Cuckoo's Calling, we got The Silkworm, which is my favorite out of the 4 that have come out so far. Career of Evil, and Lethal White. So you can read them in kind of whatever order you want, although they do sort of build on each other. Like, it's a story that is sequential, but you don't necessarily have to read them in order. I would, but if you want to read them however you want, that's fine. But like I said, if you have time, get through these 4. There's another one coming out in September. And they're super, super good mysteries that just, yeah, I mean, J.K. Rowling knows what the fuck she's doing. So, yeah, those are my recommendations. If you have anything else to add to any of that, just leave it in the comments. Like and subscribe. And thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks. Peace.